Yep, that's me. Oh my god. Yep, that's me, the Asian Duke Silver. I'm just playing the sax, jazz sax before we get this live stream going. But thanks for hanging out with me on a very special. Oh my, I'm like a Fabio with my V-neck right now. But yeah, I'm trying to represent the Dodgers because we're gonna cover the Dodgers today with their White House visit and how much it's freaking out the left on Reddit. It's actually equal parts hilarious and sad how detached they are from reality, and they just don't understand that Reddit doesn't represent the world. But yeah, we're gonna hang out here. We're gonna talk about some stuff. Thanks for being one of the 100 people that showed up on this impromptu live stream on this. What is this? 12 p.m. or 12:47 p.m. Pacific, 3 Eastern. I don't know the chat. Let me know what time it is over there. Well, yeah, in the chat, let me know where you guys are. And I'm glad you're hanging out because we probably only going to get, what is it, like maybe at most 200 to 300 live stream viewers. But this is more because we're making these episodes and we're having conversations with you guys. And what I want to do is make this chat larger. Oops. Make the chat larger so then it's more easy to see where you are. 250, 247. Moore Park and Crap Room. Okay. Chicago Burbs, New York City, Arizona. So it's kind of cool that you guys are all across the country and even in other countries right now watching this. So it's pretty interesting how much reach we have with this. So it's been pretty fun. Guess we can go ahead and get to the story unless there's anything you guys want me to address here. Foreigner says, the question is, if a planet's already on fire, can it get more on fire? Always. It can always get worse, guys. Never say this is the worst day of my life, because then it can keep on progressively be the worst day in your life. And I don't ever want to call it. Oh, Crap Room is just Moore Park backwards. I've never heard of that. I know people from Moore Park. Like, Moore Park's around like Simi Valley, right? I knew a guy from Camarillo. It's like maybe 20 minutes away from the valley. So I know the area. Not a fan of the area. I'm sorry if that offends you. If you're from Moore Park and you're like a diehard, you love it, I feel bad for you. So yeah, General Kale says, we're in a weird spot where the apocalypse is right around the corner, but we still got to go to work. Yeah, it's sad where we're in a situation right now where things are really bad, but not bad enough. Like, things are apocalyptic, but not apocalyptic enough to not show up to work. So that's where we are. If you guys haven't already, which I imagine you have to be with the notifications on, but if you haven't already, please consider not becoming a channel member, just subscribing to the channel. We're at 13,000, which is pretty impressive for a brand new channel. But yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. Have the notifications on. But I imagine if you're watching this live, you have the notifications on, because otherwise you never would have been able to catch this, because I still don't have a cadence. I don't have a schedule quite yet, but we'll figure these things out. But a follow-up, because I think on the videos on here, there's just one video that actually, part of the episodes that actually caught steam. It was me calling out how the Philippines finally arrested that live streamer Batali, and it really looks like, what is this? They are not setting him free. Like, I use the thing in the thumbnail where he's arrested. He's like this giant yoked individual. Like, somebody was calling me out for calling him a Russian when he's American. It's like, yeah, you could be born in Russia, spend lots of time in America, and still be Russian. I don't understand why that concept was so hard for people to figure out, but they arrested him. Didn't seem like he was taking it seriously until he figured out he wasn't just going to get deported and get a slap on the wrist. He was actually not being deported and may actually serve some jail time over there. So the interesting thing about this is, if you haven't seen it, I'll just play a brief clip. He was over there just being a nuisance. That's the only content he creates, apparently. He's just out there. Oh, he's already serving jail time right now. That's crazy.
Excuse me, madam. Sorry. I'm gonna fucking rob you if you keep walking away.
I'm gonna effing rob you if you walk away.
Give you money. No? Okay. No. Okay, because you got a COVID mask, you liberal fuck.
He's just being an idiot. He's over there stealing a cap off a security guard, which I now understand their security guards are carrying. Like, that's... I don't think the Philippines is a third world country, the entire country. a lot of it is a developing nation, but there's parts of it that are very third world. So I could see the security guards being allowed to carry live ammunition. Yeah, the white Johnny Somali, we would almost think that he might be like the original Johnny Somali, and Johnny Somali is like the fake Somalian Batali. But later on, you saw him getting arrested. And I think this was at the time where they thought he was just going to get a slap on the wrist, get deported, because unfortunately with a lot of these third world nations like Thailand, they will if you break their laws, but they don't typically like to throw out super harsh sentences on tourists, because when tourism is the bulk of your economy, you can't really spend a lot of time. Not spend a lot of time. You can't really throw a bunch of them in jail where people are afraid to be a tourist in your area. On the flip side, you don't want to put out the message to the world that you can go over there and harass the people, the locals, and the working man and have no punishment for it. So when you saw later on, he was arrested. Now, it's interesting that if you watch Filipino television, and I've watched some Filipino basketball on television before, it's weird because they speak their language, but it's also English as well. I did not know that, General Kale says. Fun fact, the more muscular you are, the more effective a taser is against you. I guess it's because if you're buff, everything convulses and actually hurts more. This is the first time it's good that I'm not a muscular person, but let's go ahead and watch what we can understand of this.
Hindi pa ipa-deport ang Russian vlogger na kilala bilang si Vitali.
Yeah, he says, will not deport a Russian vlogger. A lot of Filipino words. Vitali. No, we can't get some closed captions. I have one with closed captions right after, but we'll try to watch a little bit of this here.
Matapos siyang mambastos at manggulo sa isang mall at restaurant sa Taguig City habang naka-livestream. Ayon kay Interior Secretary Jean-Vic Remulla, pananagutin muna si Vitali sa mga nilabag niyang batas dito sa bansa.
Yeah, we're not going to understand any of that, but good thing there's one with subtitles. Yeah, even people who don't work can speak a little English here. Okay, that makes sense.
Na chinarge siya.
Oh, it's all in Filipino. So the subtitles are the 5 acts that he's been charged with will be filed in court and under the custody of the Bureau of Immigration as an undesirable alien. That is a direct way to put this guy, an undesirable alien. I wonder if I could start using that in my stream to start talking about people like Johnny Somali, or is that going to get me demonetized?
Under custody siya ng Bureau of Immigration as an undesirable alien.
Now we'll talk to the Bureau of Immigration about this process. There's like different subtitles. But in my opinion, and this is just me, it's not a law that I'm saying. He will remain in the Bureau of Immigration detention facility. He's trying to put his hat on. I'm guessing if this is the bailiff, the officer that brought him in, I'm guessing this guy over here is gonna be the his like public defender. He's like, "What are you doing? Take your hat off, man." They're telling like, "Stop putting your hat on." In Muntinlupa, while we're waiting for him to be released, we won't deport him. You'll answer the law here in the Philippines. Great standard. The crimes they've committed can now be punished by the Filipinos. Good. This is an example. We are serious. For example, we are serious that in our own country, we will not deport them. And you know what? That's a great thing, because what they did over in Japan with Johnny Somali, where he like suffered a fraction of his jail sentence, and then they just deported him, said, "Hey, you can't come back for." I think he's not even banned for his entire life. He's just banned for a couple years. He's set the standard to say, hey, you can create all these problems in Japan, break all their laws. You're gonna get a light slap on the wrist. You can even go back to your home country and talk trash about how easy it was to lie to their they call him their inspector or their detective or their lawyers. Like, he just bragged about breaking their laws and nothing happened to him. So he set the precedence for Japan kind of being weak with their laws. And then I had this other video. Let me just pull it up real quick. like shortly after, they had this nonsense happen where, yes, Johnny Somali served no punishment, well, very little punishment, and then you had immediately another brand of idiots coming through and just bothering the locals. Like, you have to do what the Philippines are doing to get any justice. Well, you're asking Ducky, when can I be a member of the Decaf Decoy channel? You can't, because obviously I have the numbers to get monetized right now, but it's not showing up on the dashboard. So I can enable it to become like ads and paid for memberships, but honestly, I'm in no rush for it. I mean, I'm just glad you guys are subscribed and watching these live streams right now. This is pretty cool on a secondary channel that's only like 7 days old. We're doing pretty okay, but at some point in time we'll make it so you guys can join. Oh, what's up, Earthworm Jim? No one call him Johnny, call him Ramsey. I know you've been around, so I'll just, everybody I've known around will just get moderator status for now, just so you don't have to work at all. You guys can just be mods. But I want to say, I call him the not Somalian guy. I don't want to give him any infamy. He's Johnny, or he's the not Somalian. There's nothing in my videos that should be able to provide him with extra advertisements for free. It's just me talking trash about him. So that's how I justify covering that stuff. Oh, what's up, Fidelis Flow? Yeah, I'm back to live streams on a channel where we only have very few people watching, but it makes it so I can have a conversation with you guys. It's kind of cool, because before we were at like 2,000 live stream viewers. It's still not a lot compared to like Penguins and stuff like that with like 20,000 or Tim Pool with 50,000. But at that point in time, you can't even have a conversation with you guys. Bro says, what if Johnny gets deported? He likely will. I'm still hopeful that he won't. But yes.
Secretary John Vic will now make a statement.
But yeah, they're talking. This is all in Filipino or Tagalog, but I think there's a translate button on most of these comments. Let's see. Justice for Filipinos. Thank you, Secretary Ramuya. Let me make this bigger, because I feel like in the comment section we'll be able to hear more of what's actually happening. Thank you, Secretary Ramula. Vitali, a nuisance vlogger, must confess to his crimes as to not set an example for other nuisance vloggers who plan to embarrass and violate our law. Thank you. Fidelis Flow says, yeah, I love watching Legal Mindset give updates on Johnny. The one thing I'm worried about him is he has a really good channel. He provides a very good service, but I'm concerned that he'll build an audience, and then once Johnny Somali gets his 20-year jail sentence and there's no more updates on it, will he have a channel anymore? I hope that he starts to pivot now, sooner rather than later, while he still gets, Johnny Somali updates. He's doing something else, because YouTube can be fickle. He should be in prison here in the Philippines about 6 years before being deported. Yeah, you will never have another nuisance streamer in your country if they make them serve 6 years hard time in the Philippines, put him in like one of the smaller islands, and make him do hard time and then send him away. Yeah, that's gonna mess him up mentally, but also he kind of has it coming. Miles Cheng says it's not his main job, and I do understand that, but I know personally attorneys that have started careers as attorneys, made decent money, because back when we were kids, at least me, they used to say, you can grow up to become a doctor or a lawyer. That's how you make real money. That's how you make your family proud, all that stuff. Lawyers today, unless you're in a large firm or you're very, very accomplished or you have a good network, a lot of attorneys out there are not under the poverty line, but damn near close. And the idea is, I've known I've known one lawyer, had his regular job, was doing a regular practice, and then started the YouTube channel on the side, and then made easily tenfold, easily 50-fold of what he was making as a lawyer with a private practice. And now it's like, yeah, YouTube, especially as an attorney, especially with a specialty, somebody like Officer Tatum or Donut Operator, where you have a specialty. What is the other thing? sports medicine guys, where they have legitimate jobs, legitimate expertise, and they can turn around later on and become big YouTubers. And sad to say, you make more money being a YouTuber talking about the profession than actually doing the profession and serving society. Very sad. But yeah, I would think that people love VTuber legal drama, and the way legal mindset is, I think that he could be the next big thing. But then sometimes people just don't understand how YouTube works sometimes, and how it can just spit you out if the algorithm starts to favor something. I'm not trying to give somebody unsolicited advice, but yes. One more person talking about the Vitaly thing, saying, "Good job, sir. Thank you. You should make other races respect us because they think that all Filipinos will be brought to big money." Yeah, corruption was gonna be. People were talking about corruption in the Philippines. How he may have been able to get off easy because he's, I don't know how rich he is, but if he's a foreigner with a lot of money, he can bribe his way out of this. So if they can set the standard that say even if you have a lot of cash, you're still going to serve the entire jail time. You're still going to do 6 years in the harshest of prisons in the country, in the continent, possibly the world. It's going to set the message out there. Baldova says, one of the comments there suggesting the Filipino accomplice be arrested as well. I did hear they were going to arrest him and charge a cameraman. Of course, if you're aiding and abetting, I don't know if they have the same laws we have in America where you have to prove that they were encouraging it, have physical participation. But to me, the camera guy is doing it. Actually, in that one video, did I close the window? Yeah, in this video, I think the camera guy jumped in. And this guy with pink hair, I think, is the camera guy.
Papa, Razzi.
That guy looks like he's a Filipino, and he looks like he's helping bully the security guard. So 100% set an example. Just the same way that Johnny Somali is gonna serve some jail time, and then you see who's that other guy? Hank. I never want to go too hard on Hank because I think he's an idiot. I think he deserves all the punishment in the world because he's doing stupid stuff. And there's only one thing worse than somebody being a nuisance streamer, traveling the world to do all this stuff, is the local that sees it on his phone on the internet and runs out there to participate. Like, you're even bigger loser to me. But not to be mean, but I'm genuinely curious, and I think the chat will tell me, is that guy disabled? Because it would actually make things make more sense. I understand he's an American. He served some pretty hard jail time over here for not even similar activity, him just actually being an idiot and committing crimes. But I honestly think that, yeah, Jesse doesn't know him. And Fidelis, I'm not trying to be mean to him. I hear him speak. I see him saying the N-word all the time. It almost seems like, I'm not saying he is, but it would make more sense if he was handicapped and they were taking advantage of him, because it just seems like it. So yeah, Hank is just that. Yeah, and there's pictures of Hank with the flag. Wait, is my latency low? I want to make sure I can chat with you guys better. Yeah, ultra low latency. Uganda says he's done a lot of substances and psychedelics over the years. I do know, not doxing anybody or like calling anybody out, but I do know people that have done substances for so long that it's drastically changed their personality, and I can understand that. Well, it didn't make them like handicapped, but it drastically changed who they were as a person. So I can see Hank not being not being challenged at all, but then just all the substances just rewiring his brain and making him easy to manipulate. You guys are mean. Okay. The next topic over here is the stock market is collapsing. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to give anybody financial advice because my finances are in shambles as well. I think me, like many people, tried to get invested in crypto when it became hot, and I am by far like the worst crypto trader known to man. Like when Doge, not Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, the meme coin about the Shiba Inu. Maybe it wasn't Doge, maybe it was Shiba Inu coin. One of them blew up, and everybody that got in early was like becoming millionaires. Like, no, I think it was Doge. It was like people buying in at like pennies on the dollar, and all of a sudden, like I guess I gotta look right now. What is Doge value? Doge value is at 15 cents. What was the all-time high? Okay, so people were buying it like fractions of a penny, and at one point in time, it got to 50 cents. So people were like getting rich off it, right? So when I bought Sheeb, I thought I was gonna be rich because all of a sudden it went from like a penny to 5 cents. I was like, yo, if all this Sheeb makes it to $1, I'm gonna be rich out of my mind. And it's like the market cap of Shiba Inu was too high. Like literally every single dollar in the world had to be invested in Sheeb for it to hit $1. So it's like, don't take investment advice from me at all. But everybody's freaking out. You got, what is this? Gergevin, pretty good finance Twitter account. You have Unusual Whales, really good finance account, saying the S&P 500 is officially in a bear market, down 20% from its all-time highs. Oh no, people are freaking out. Election Wizard showing the stock markets today, as of April 7th, today, across the world, are down. And here's the thing is, Jacob Peterson says Unusual Whales is fear-mongering so much. I saw people complaining that Unusual Whales was starting to become like a left-wing account where like, oh, they're campaigning against Trump. They're bad. I'm gonna stand up now. They're switching on Trump, but it's like, no, Unusual Whales, and I'm getting very small. Unusual Whale is doing like me. Like, they're not Unusual Whales. I'll look. Okay, here we go. I got so distracted with that. But it's not a crime for them to just report on what's happening with the market. That's not a political thing. That's just them saying, hey, we're in a bear market. That's just where it is. But it's crazy how much all of these markets are attached to whether or not we decide to tariff them reciprocally. Jesus Christ, that's a hard word to say. But it's our news stations, for whatever reason, they want to make you think that this is just going to be a tax on the people. It's only going to impact the average citizen, not everybody else, which is going to cause them to balk and actually come to negotiate with us. Because you see this over here from Ryan Saavedra saying, and this is a trusted guy. I don't think he's trolling. I don't think that he would just put out something knowingly false. But he says, a good friend of mine who's conservative, right-wing, Republican just sent me this. You start messing around with people's investments and 401ks, you're going to lose support fast. And it says, the guy tells him, his right-wing friend says, I'm going to vote Democrat. Legit, I thought I'd never say that. Newsom for sure, any Dem in Congress. But it's insane this is happening. And he's like, can I take a screenshot of this? He's like, yeah. Even if Trump reverses course Monday, it's too late. I can't trust him again. Hauls out some random chart that he made up with made-up numbers and triggers the worst 3-day crash since the 1980s. Done. How sad is it? How paper hands would this guy need to be like, stock market ebbs and flows. We have crashes, but are you in it for the long run? Are you cashing out your 401k tomorrow? Are you cashing out your 401k this year? Or are you just terrified of your own shadow? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, yeah, hold the line. Definitely not a fake post. It's fake. Like, everybody thinks it's fake. It may very well be, but it's crazy how it's just the market reacting to something that's never happened. A president putting America first. Isn't that sad that this is something out of the ordinary? But Unusual Whales pointed out saying it's absolute comedy. The market was blood red today. Then an unattributed rumor started on X that there was a consideration of a 90-day tariff pause, which wouldn't be out of the ordinary because I do know that when Trump was going to put the tariffs on Mexico and on Canada, when they started to kind of teeter and start to negotiate with Trump, he had called them off and say, okay, we're going to do a tariff pause. We're going to figure out, if we can come to terms and we don't need to actually implement these tariffs. It wouldn't be out of the ordinary for him to do this. But then now someone said, hey, there may be a tariff pause on the other countries. The market starts to skyrocket and turn green. 5 minutes later, the White House denied the rumor because it'd be terrible for them. It's like, they may very well be thinking about putting a 90-day tariff pause, but negotiation-wise, it looks weak. Donald Trump isn't. What is it? His book is The Art of the Deal. I don't think Donald Trump is going to weaken his position by starting to say, hey, the market crashed here, so you know what? I want to save our stocks, our 401ks. I don't want paper hands over here to not vote for me because he's Trump called him a panicking, like a panicked Republican. I don't want to upset these idiots over here, so we're going to do a 90-day pause. No. This is a rumor, and then the market crashes again. These people are overreacting by and large because the media is trying to get people to be scared. And it's sad because I personally know people hit me up, maybe even watching the show right now. I'm glad you're watching the show, if you are. But people saying, Decoy, please explain to me how the tariffs aren't going to hurt us. I know you're a Trump guy, and I'm not even the biggest Trump guy, but he's like, I know you're a Trump guy. Tell us why the tariffs aren't going to hurt us, and you know what's going to be the good part about this, and trying to like break it down so they can fathom why they shouldn't panic, because you have stuff like this over here from CNBC in Teterboro, New Jersey, trying to scare people, but they say, New Jersey shopper says because of Trump's tariffs, she just paid more than twice as much for the same groceries. Fun fact, the tariffs aren't in place yet.
Right behind me, we've been talking to a lot of people who in many cases are doing their weekly shopping, and the common refrain we've heard is that prices were already going up and they are worried they could go up even more, and that the consumer is feeling very stressed. We heard from one woman who even said that this—
Why weren't they stressed during the entire Biden administration or the entire Otto Penn administration as we know it now, but only when the media tells you to freak out do you need to freak out? And yeah, BIH saying stock market's on sale, buy the dip. I'm not giving anybody advice, but being self-employed is a very bizarre thing. So it's like, I'm used to my company taking money out and throwing it in a 401k, and now I got to do it myself. I hate adulting, but the idea is right now is the best time for me to jump in all these prices, all these stocks. Like me seeing Apple, me seeing Nvidia, me seeing just things that I'm looking at, not giving you advice, but me seeing all these stocks, and I'm like, I wish I could have bought in when they were cheaper, and now they're cheaper. I don't think they're going under forever. So I mean, I kind of feel like this would be a good time for me. Again, I'm a Neanderthal.
same basket of groceries.
Is it Captain Miserable saying buy AOL? No.
That she regularly buys has now effectively doubled. Take a listen.
I feel like the prices—
See, I didn't watch this video. I didn't see the person. Again, don't really like to criticize people based on their appearance because I'm one to talk. I am a very bizarre amalgamation of things that should work on people to make them attractive, but don't because it's like a Frankenstein of face, but including the voice. But yeah, this is somebody I would imagine wouldn't understand the finer points of economics.
are ridiculous now. It's to the point where it's going to be harder for people to shop because the prices are just insane. Literally, yes, because last week I like literally for the same amount of stuff that I bought, I literally paid like maybe $30-40, and now it's like $75 for like 3 bags of groceries. It's like completely insane.
3 bags of groceries, depending on what's in there. If it's 3 bags of eggs for $75, not a bad deal. Not a bad deal, guys. Bro, General Kill said Cardi DEI. So you guys are mean. I'm not trying to be mean about appearances. Yeah, Orthworm Jim saying, what is she buying? I have no idea. This is crazy. But yeah, people are starting to fearmonger because Newswire, this is an account. Gold checkmark means they're a verified news account. And I think, let me look it up right now. Twitter, how much does gold checkmark cost? $200 a month. It used to be $1,000 a month, but now it's $200 a month. Maybe I'll just buy a gold checkmark to make myself look more legit. It's a business expense, I guess. But Newswire, an official news outlet out there with only 70,000 followers. Yeah, that's why they're bad. Powered by Polymarket. I thought Polymarket was going under. I don't know. But yeah. iPhones made fully in the US could cost $30,000. More than a Hyundai. More than like double the price of my Mazda. Like, iPhones could cost more than two vehicles, production limited to a few million units. Forbes. No, this is just fear-mongering. This is just like when they come out there and say, oh, your groceries are exploding, like they're double the price right now because of the tariffs. Like I had a friend telling me that the tequila prices were skyrocketing, and I was like, that's not because of the tariffs. That's because they are telling you, or people are openly saying we're worried about prices going up. Like, I have friends that I'm into sneakers, and I have friends that like to buy sneakers that are, how do you say it? Unauthorized. But I have friends back home, they're like really into sneakers. Like, I haven't been as much since I moved out, but just the idea that they're talking about how the tariffs are going to make these unauthorized sneakers more expensive. And it's like, that makes zero sense. Nobody knows you're purchasing this thing. Like, it's not allowed, and they're saying that the official rules are going to impact it. It's sheer nonsense. Them estimating an iPhone could cost $30,000. And here's the thing. Even if the iPhone temporarily costs you $30,000, I'm sure you guys can do without getting the iPhone 17. I'm sure we could skip a couple years while they figure out how to build the silicone chips in Florida, how they make manufacturing over in America, and maybe the iPhone costs $3,000 instead of $2,000. It is a luxury item. We don't need a new one every single year, and I imagine the prices might go down a bit if people stop buying them every single year. Like, they're trying to pull people back into the market. This is just nonsense, though. It's fear-mongering. It's just trying to get you to turn on Trump, which some people, sad to say, it's working on. But you see this over here. And this guy makes a great point on the Tucker Carlson show as to, they keep on trying to tell us tariffs are a tax on the people. When I want to buy, I don't know, if you're in Canada and you want to buy American whiskey, bourbon, if you want to buy bourbon in Canada, the tariffs are going to go to you, goes direct to consumer. So then if the tariffs don't impact the companies at all, why are they so freaked out about it? And this guy pretty much points it out pretty perfectly.
A lot of our trading partners, including some of our allies, have not been good partners. If tariffs are so bad, why do they have them? Why do they have them?
They have them on us. These are just reciprocal tariffs. Like on the video I published on Decoy Voice today, you have Nancy Pelosi in 1996 talking about, why does China tariff us 35% and we only tariff them 5%? Why do they not allow all of our goods to go in China? Meanwhile, we allow everything to come over here. Like, it's an unfair trading agreement, but because Donald Trump is finally doing something about it, now they're mad.
Right? Or if the American consumer is going to pay all the tariff, then why do they care about tariffs?
Right.
Because they're going to eat them. A lot of
they're going to eat them. It's going to impact their bottom line because at some point in time, they get priced out of things. That's the only reason they can compete with us on a lot of this stuff, is because they can use dirt cheap to slave labor on things, and then they can undercut American goods even though it's coming from overseas. If all of a sudden we tariff them to make it seem like, hey, we can purchase our bananas from South America, or they can just start growing them locally in the country, like, it's going to make everything fair. They can no longer get rich on the American dime. It's sad. And again, I am not an economist, but you're saying this, and it's already starting to work. You have the European Union starting to buckle because you saw everywhere our stock market's doing terrible, but the entire world economy is doing terrible right now. I think Singapore is open to negotiating with us, like zero tariffs, and then also China or Japan, one of the more well-off Asian countries, said they had to freeze the stock market. Like, they have circuit breakers. If things go down too fast, they stop trading just as a safeguard.
We stand ready to negotiate with the United States. Indeed, we have offered 0 for 0 tariffs.
0 for 0 tariff? Wouldn't just see... They work. Tariffs work. They're tariffing us at 35%, but you have a president that wants to put Americans first and has the balls to see a stock market where everybody's panicking to say, hey, let's do this very experimental thing. It's never been done. We need this correction. He's done it, and already they're bending the knee.
For industrial goods, as we have successfully done with many other trading partners, because Europe is always ready for a good deal.
Yep.
So we keep it on the table. But we are also prepared to respond through countermeasures and defend our interests.
Defend your interests. I think I forgot who was pointing it out online, but they were talking about how once America says, hey, European Union, hey, NATO, why are we like 90 to 95% of your defense spending when we have oceans that do a lot of the heavy lifting for us? How about we put that back on your guys' shoulders? And once they start to see that, then magically they can no longer provide free healthcare. They can no longer do all these garbage games with their market where they're like, oh, we're going to tariff you reciprocally. It's like, no, they need America more than America needs them. and they're starting to fold very quickly. And you're seeing Trump where he's standing strong. Like, what was this? Yesterday.
Europe's treated us very badly. We put a big tariff on Europe. They are coming to the table. They want to talk, but there's no talk unless they pay us a lot of money on a yearly basis. Number one for present, but also for past.
Yes.
Because they've taken a lot of our wealth away, and we're not going to allow it to happen.
I love having a president that is America first. Has he done some things I don't like already? Yeah, that Epstein debacle, it's crazy. I thought they were supposed to walk over to Fort Knox and find the gold. What happened to that? What happened to the Epstein list? What happened to pardoning, I forget his name right now, and I feel bad not knowing. But there's a lot of things that Trump has done that have been great. A lot of things he's done that aren't so great. But I still see this as a net positive compared to a cackling Kamala Harris presidency. And then Tim Pool points out how Business Insider pointed out the wealthiest 10% of Americans own 93% of stocks, even with market participation at a record high. Like with Robinhood, everybody started being able to trade stocks, but it's just the rich people are heavily invested in the stocks. So you have Kangman Lee pointing out, like how everybody else is saying, the left always wants to eat the rich, tax the rich. The rich is too wealthy. Well, it's unfair that they have all the money. And now they say, no, the stock market and the market values of billion-dollar corporations. Like, they have no actual beliefs, just hatred for Trump in opposition to conservatives. And that's what it is. And I like that he points this out because Kangman is a very staunch Christian, too. But the idea that they have no actual beliefs, they just don't like conservatives in Christianity. And you see that right now where how they're very against Christianity and the idea that they have conservative or traditional values towards like the LGBT community and things like that. But then they will welcome with open arms unlimited amounts of immigration from countries that are very, very traditionally religious. People from Muslim countries that still practice, I don't even know if I can say the word, but S law that is incredibly incompatible with the LGBT community. But then you have these leftists welcoming them into their communities with open arms, letting them become the majority, and then implementing in their local city council laws against their own community, like American progressives. And it's sad how they're not against religion. They're not against people not liking their way of life. They're just against Trump. They have no values. They don't care. They don't care if tariffs were something the Democrats wanted in 1996, but all of a sudden they're getting right now. It's just Trump is bad. Orange man bad. It's not stank law, but it is very close to that. And Donald Trump on Twitter says, oil prices are down. Interest rates are down. The slow-moving Fed should cut rates. Food prices are down. There is no inflation. And the long-time abuse USA is bringing in billions of dollars a week from the abusing countries on tariffs that are already in place. This is despite the fact that the biggest abuser of them all, China, whose markets are crashing, just raised tariffs by 34%. We're in a trade war with China. We've been in a trade war with China for a long time. I think it's the first time we started to defend ourselves. On top of its long-term, ridiculously high tariffs, plus not acknowledging my warning of abusing countries not to retaliate. Yep, they started to retaliate. They get what they sow. They've made enough for decades, taking advantage of the good old USA. Our past leaders are to blame for allowing this and much else, and so much else to happen in our country. Make America great again. And I like Gunther Eagleman, but I don't like engagement bait posts. It annoys me. So, and they say they're asking him, "Are you going to fold?"
Pain in the market. At some point, you're unwilling to tolerate this idea of a Trump put. Is there a threshold?
I think your question is so stupid. I don't want anything.
I don't think Biden would ever, like, Biden would sit there on Air Force One just trying not to fall asleep while I forgot who that military leader was behind him, Secretary of State, I forget, but the one guy behind him just anxiously watching behind him, saying, Are you conscious still? But just the idea that he's like, will the market crashing hurt you? And he said straight up, that's a dumb question.
pain in the market? At some point, you're unwilling to tolerate this idea of a Trump put. Is there a threshold?
I think your question is so stupid. I think it's I don't want anything to go down, but sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something.
Yes.
And we have such a horrible. We have been treated so badly by other countries because we had stupid leadership that allowed this to happen. They took our businesses, they took our money, they took our jobs, they moved it to Mexico, they moved it to Canada, they moved a lot of it to China, and it's not sustainable. We're not going to do it. Now we have hundreds of billions of dollars is pouring into our country on a monthly basis. It's pouring. It's already started because they put tariffs on, and eventually it's going to straighten out, and our country will be solid and strong again.
Donald D has it right, saying he's so upfront. I like that. You may not like what he says, but at least you know he means what he says. At least you know, it's almost like he allows you to mind read him. He's not trying to play politics and play nice and try to be I'm going to coddle both sides so you guys both don't feel offended. No, he's going to tell you exactly how it is and how he feels, and F you if you disagree. And then also Turtle says, content president. Yeah, this is why all the news agencies, they almost need a Donald Trump presidency because they can have something to freak out about again. But yeah. Donald Trump on Truth says, the United States has a chance to do something they should have done decades ago. Don't be weak. Don't be stupid. Don't be a panicking, a new party based on weak and stupid people, weak and stupid Republicans. Be strong, courageous, and patient, and greatness will be the results. And I think this is a very valid opinion to have on this, where everybody's freaking out, everybody's scared, but it's like, this is by design. We're playing a game of chicken. We're going head on with these countries, trying to see if they need us more than they need them, or we're too scared, or we're going to have too many panicins in America saying, oh my God, you wiped out some of my 401k, so now I support Governor Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris. Absolute absurdity, but I don't think Donald Trump is going to cater to those kind of people. Yes, and Pepe says, the order of the deal, it is. And Raven All Fire says, 88% of the market's owned by the top 10% of earners. The last 12% of the market is the next 40 earners, so the middle class. Yeah, I forgot who was saying it. Maybe it was a guy on Tucker Carlson's show talking about how the average blue-collar American just going check to check, they don't have money in the stock market. They're just trying to survive. So if you have all these people freaking out like, oh, the S&P is down and the Dow Jones is down, you're wiping out trillions of dollars on the stock market, it's like, Donald Trump doesn't really represent the wealthy elites like the Democrat Party does. And that's why you have that panicking going on, that iMessage or the text message chain saying, I don't care, Donald Trump can fix this tomorrow, I'm just never going to vote for him again, I'm now supporting the Democrats. Like, just pure R words in the middle, tardation, ridiculousness, but that's not who Trump serves. Trump serves the blue-collar worker that's going to get that manufacturing job that comes back to America after places like Hyundai and Ford says, you know what, we could use cheap labor in Mexico to make these vehicles cheaper, but the tariffs are going to make it more expensive, so let's go ahead and give Americans jobs again, because it's, at the end of the day, largely Americans purchasing those cars. Why aren't we getting those jobs? So yeah, Casper, the Friendly Sith, says, and it's mostly upper middle class too. Not too many of my employees that were like lower class hourly guys barely making it by, trying to pay off their college debts when I was a manager at a regular job. Not too many of my guys there were heavily invested in the stock market. They might play some games on GameStop and Robinhood, play some games on Robinhood with GameStop and everything, but they weren't by and large like big 401k carriers and very, very long on stocks that would be in mutual funds. This is just harming the wealthy elites. I don't understand why the Democrats are, well, I should theoretically not understand why the Democrats are so panicked about this, but it's just, the Democrat Party is now the party of the wealthy elites, and the Republicans are now the party of the people. Very bizarre times, but here we are. Eric Talaria says, you finally got it right. I mean, it sounds like English is like my third or fourth language, but it's not. And Nitro Nut says, speaking of GameStop, it is bizarre that GameStop is, I think right now it's like, oh, let me look. GameStop stock. Yeah, this is nuts. Why is GameStop doing great compared to everybody? GameStop is up. What is going? I don't know, man. GameStop does the opposite of what the stock market is. Again, don't take stock advice to me. Autumn D says, "Do you stream this on Twitch?" Also, I may. I don't know. I heard people streaming make more money on Twitch, but honestly, that's not my biggest concern. But I do know I could hit a different audience that isn't on Twitch. I mean, that isn't on YouTube, and then maybe have different discussions. Because I like the idea that the chat here is, you know, very interactive. But it might be cool to get, maybe there's a different type of person that chats on Twitch that doesn't chat on YouTube. So possibly, but also the idea that I have a hard time figuring out how to get OBS to multicast. When I multicast back in LA, I was getting, what is it, DDoS attacked or something, where if I tried to stream, my connectivity went to almost zero. But then as soon as I stopped streaming, I could do, internet was fine. It was sad, but I'll figure it out if I do indeed want to multicast. So yes, everybody's talking about the Dodgers right now. Their visit to the White House. That didn't impact the stock market. What it was a rumor that Trump was going to pause the tariffs. But I like the idea that you have this. Trump is there. That's Clayton Kershaw handing Trump a jersey. Dodgers 47. I really wanted to get a Tommy Edman jersey. I'm part Korean. He's part Korean. He's a legendary, ultimate utility player, team player. Like he's legit. He's like my third favorite Dodger right now. Might be Kike Hernandez, the legendary relief pitcher. But I was going to get an Edman jersey, but this Trump 47 jersey is pretty hard. And I kind of feel like that would be the ultimate troll. Like I'm not big on trolling to the point where I'd show up somewhere with like a MAGA hat just because, you know, you're going to get people freaking out at you. But I would think it would be funny if I roll up to the Dodger Stadium with my Trump 47 jersey. Trump 45 in the front, 47 in the back. I think that'd be pretty awesome. Yeah, Streamlabs is kind of interesting. Dodgers playing Moneyball with... No, Dodgers aren't playing Moneyball with big money. Dodgers are playing Moneyball with the infinite money glitch. Like, that's what they're doing. Jim the Grim says, what about Kim? Haesung Kim has lots of potential, but I don't know. Like, I obviously think Haesung Kim will become the new second baseman. They're going to send Pages down to AAA, and Kim is just going to figure it out on his first go-around and be an immediate contributor and help us win our back-to-back World Series. But we got to see him make it first. Like, I really want a jersey with a period in it. It's dumb, but like Haesung Kim's jersey, Roki Sasaki's jersey, they're pretty cool. It's something that isn't something MLB has really done before, but it's pretty cool. What is it? I saw another one, but yeah, not Haesung Kim yet. Tommy Edman, he's deserved it because I think that when you buy a jersey, the player gets some of it. Do we have a Discord channel yet? We do, but I had to pay gate it because when you don't paywall your Discord server, you get people going in there spamming nonsense trying to make you look bad. So you have to be on Decoy Voices channel and the higher tier, not the $5 one, the $20 a month one. Then you get the Discord link because that's the only way we can keep it secure. But yeah, Dodgers show up to the White House. They're there. You got all the players. It's very bizarre how a lot of the angles, they don't show you who was there, because you have what is it? Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Chris Taylor, you got Tommy Edman, but they really don't show you a picture with all the guys there because Ohtani's here. You can barely see him right there, but it's like almost like they try to omit the players. Mookie Betts, Kike, Miguel Rojas, Dustin May, like a lot of the people there. Where's Blake Trinan? He's like the biggest conservative. I can't find him. Where is he? Whatever. But yeah. Trump goes there and immediately makes the Dodger players laugh. It's funny.
Congratulations, Brian. And others. We have a couple of senators here.
California senators.
Don't particularly like them, so I won't introduce. Over the course of this amazing season, the members of this team...
He's the ultimate... He's the content president. It's content Trump. I love it.
I didn't think it was that big a deal, actually. Washington. Over the course of this amazing season, the members of this team gave us some of the most congratulations.
Okay, so yeah, he made the players laugh. It's crazy because, yeah, Otani, Betts, World Series champions. They all go there. Maybe Freddie Freeman didn't show up. Whatever. I think he's injured. Yeah, you got Tyler Glass now over there. Max Muncy. It looks like the entire team. Ani Paez. They're there. They're giving him the jersey, showing him the thing. It's a traditional thing. Like, nobody had an issue. I would see myself as someone that despises Joe Biden, that despises Kamala Harris. I'm never going to freak out when they present a jersey to Joe Biden that says 46. They can all show up there. They won the championship. Going to the White House is a privilege. It's my country. It's America. They should be proud to go there. They should be proud to go here. But it's so bizarre that the left can't seem to comprehend that these are baseball players. These are millionaire baseball players that have more important things to do with their life. Raise families, spend their millions of dollars, train in baseball because they're professional athletes. They got better things to do than to follow every single little thing that happens in politics. But you see over here on Reddit where I still go on Reddit. I still check out the Boston Celtics subreddit. I still check out the Dodgers subreddit. I want to know what's going on. But in the comments section, it's tragic. They live in a bubble. All they do is complain about Trump. And they FDJT or whatever. It's shameful. They should all wear Jackie Robinson jerseys to their White House visit. Like on Dodgers, this is upvoted 1.6 thousand times. Franchise failure today. There was multiple posts before this of people talking about like they need to not show up. They need to protest it. Oh, it'd only be Blake Trinan and Clayton Kershaw. But like, yeah, they're over here. Chris Taylor looked miserable. Not mentioning Jackie Robinson was a huge error. This feels like the start of a curse. Hands down, it's the ownership company. It's their biggest F up. Like, one, get over yourselves, because the average Redditor isn't like the average pro athlete. Like, what bewilders me is the idea that all these Redditors see these pro athletes and think, oh my God, they're just like me. They would be a fan of me. It's like, no. Anybody that's known pro athletes in high school know that they were the high school jock. They're not the progressive, very friendly high school jock you see in Netflix series. They are the traditional high school jock that would be stuffing them in a locker. They would be bullying them. They would be calling them slurs. Like, not every single one of these guys would be like that. Probably not Shohei Ohtani. But the idea is a lot of these guys are going to be your prototypical high school jock, popular guy, living their best life. Not the person that has nothing better to do than to spam on Reddit and complain about every little thing and bring politics into everything and then post in those very, very bizarre, sad subreddits. I guess I want to keep this PG-13 because we're still trying to get past monetization and also past verification on this channel. But yeah, it's crazy how they don't understand the psychology of the average pro athlete Dodger player. They don't align themselves with Redditor values. They say, Turtle, average Redditor is a PSYOP soldier in some airbase in America. I wouldn't believe that. LC says, Reddit is just social outcasts. I believe that because I post on Reddit, and I am indeed a social outcast. Yeah, Jeremy Stark, even conservative topic subs are on Reddit are full of woke nonsense because the power Redditors ban every single thing that isn't their official preferred narrative. Sad how much of an echo chamber they get, but that's how you get things where people on Reddit were genuinely surprised that Trump won the election. No, you go anywhere, talk to Dodger fans, blue collar, largely, like, if you go to Dodger Stadium on most nights, maybe not like Korean night or Japan night or Nurse night too, but largely Hispanic, largely religious, largely blue collar. Any of those three things, if you looked at the election results, Hispanic, blue collar, religious, those are all categories that Trump had massive gains in. You mean to tell me that Dodger fans won't want to see them present Trump a jersey if they voted for him? Like, they're in a bubble. They have no idea. Because, let's be clear, the Dodgers themselves are against most of what Reddit loves. Like, remember the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence? Like, it's sad because you have to show these images because if you're not aware, last year for Pride Night, they invited this group, and they have been known to put Jesus on a cross, and then someone would strip dance on them like it was like a stripper pole. They're crawling all over him. Most pro athletes are very religious. Like once they win a championship, who do they thank? They thank God. They thank Jesus, or they thank whatever their religion is. A lot of these guys don't like this type of stuff. They don't want it to represent them. And again, the Dodgers can have Pride Night all they want. That's not going to make me say, oh, I don't want the sister. They affiliated with them one time, so I'm never going to support them again. It's like, no, I'm there for the sport. I'm there to enjoy myself, have popcorn, have a hot dog. Like, I don't need my values validated every single where I go, or else I freak out and say, the franchise failed me today because they don't parrot everything I think in my life. Like, bizarre little snowflakes. It's sad, but yes. Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw spoke out against him. I forgot the other pitcher. He's not with the Dodgers anymore. They all spoke out against this. They did not want them at Dodger Stadium. They did not want to represent them. And it's like, yes, they're not aligned with woke Redditors. And it's like baseball fans entirely. Like you look at Boston's Mayor Wu. This is at a Red Sox game. And look, they put her on stage. They put her on there. Yeah. Meatwad says Boston's Mayor Wu got booed. It's funny because it's baseball. And it's kind of funny because remember when they had Pride Nights all across the MLB, the only team that didn't have it was the Texas Rangers, and randomly they won the World Series that year. Don't know what's going on. He's waving, getting booed, and they switch to an American flag. Yeah, it is baseball. And here's the thing is, I despise Mayor Wu. I think she's a garbage person. And the reasoning is I did a video a long time ago, which was just highlighting, how do I say this in a way that it's highlighting all the people that are people of color that seem to despise white people. They talk about, like Don Lemon talks about white privilege or whatever. AOC talked about, I forgot, I had all the clips lined up. AOC talked about the white man. Mayor Wu talks about, eliminating, I don't want to put words in her mouth, but just all these people of color have very negative things to say about white people or want to try to systemically keep them down, and then they all end up marrying white men. Bizarre thing, and I was just looking into it. But the idea that Mayor Wu has Asian children, even if they're half white, they're going to be Asian children. And it's sad because in Boston, she's making it more difficult for people that look like me to get jobs, to go to school, to be in politics, because she has more allegiance to the Democrat agenda, the narrative, than she does her own people. And again, I'm not trying to say we need to be Asians against everybody else, but the idea that you are willing to sacrifice the futures of your own children because you want to be a good little Democrat, you're disgusting. That's why I say boo you. The idea that during the NBA seasons where they had lockdowns and masking because I didn't have a certain medication, she wanted to ensure that I couldn't go to the TD Garden and watch a Celtics game. You're a garbage person, top to bottom. You're disgusting, and I'm glad you got booed over there. Here's the thing is, Mixed Chick says they're mixed but not Asian. But everywhere in America, if you're half Asian and half white, you're half Hispanic, or you're half black, half white, what do they always consider you? I know they call people Happas and Wasians or whatever, but you're always going to be an Asian. Like Tim Pool, I don't think anybody ever considers him to be a white dude unless they're trying to like argue against him politically. But if you're mixed in America, you are always aligned with the colored part of you. It's sad. Yeah, it's never half white. Yeah, don't forget Ilhan Omar's boyfriend. I thought Ilhan Omar was married to her brother. I thought. I don't know. Yeah, there's no social benefit to being white. Yeah, everybody was always talking about how if there's such white privilege and white dominance or whatever it is, how come whenever anybody's mixed and they apply to a job or they apply to a college, they never say, I'm white, not whatever I'm mixed with. And the only exception being is if I was to apply to a college today, I would probably check off white. I wouldn't check off Asian because it is insanely more difficult. I would need a near perfect SAT score with my GPA to get into any college, even like a Cal State. It's sad. And here's the thing: is we're all mutts. We're like I have a what is it? I agree with what is it? The original ones. Like there's Mongoloid, Caucasoid, and probably the other Galoid that I can't even say on here. It's dumb, but just the idea that we're all descendants of like three main things. We're all intermixed. There's no pure pure race. I think even if you take like one of those, like me being born in Korea, even if you take one of those 23andMe things, everybody's like mixed or whatever. It's sad. Yeah, Rustin Winfield Cole says, as a ginger, my pain burns. Different. Yeah, I always wonder, my family members that have blue eyes, do we see the world differently? Like, is my red blue and is their blue red? It's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous example, but I always wonder, like, do we perceive things differently? Because I know that they can't see sunlight as good as I can, and we definitely, my blue-eyed family members definitely have a different relationship with the sun. So I just wonder if gingers are known to perceive pain differently than us. What other differences do we have? What is this? Okay, so what are we? An hour in. I think we're good for today. So I mean, oh yeah. Sherm says, I know a guy that says DNA is 100% that. I know. What was a guy? A girl who was like, I took a 23andMe, and I'm 100% Japanese, just top to bottom. Yeah. Okay, so Blank says Koreans don't smell or sweat. I hear it's not all of us. It's some of us. Some East Asians have a different what do you call it? Like our earwax. So if your earwax is completely white and clear, like it doesn't get green at all, that means that you're missing, I think, an enzyme that produces the bad smell. So when we sweat, it's not that putrid like body odor. It's just we sweat clean. So deodorant's not as big of a thing in Asia. We sweat, but we don't smell that bad. We can smell bad, but it's just like we don't smell the same way as like an average person would. And also the idea that a lot of Asians are missing that enzyme they call Asian glow, where like a girl can have a sip of beer or like a sip of like a one shot of tequila and their face will turn bright red. It's because they literally cannot process alcohol. And I actually knew one white dude that was also missing that enzyme too. And I'm like, oh shit, like I have all the different remedies you can do so you can drink alcohol efficiently. And it's like some people are just missing it. It's more pronounced in certain races than others. Yeah, this says get on a train on Japan on a summer day. Yeah, that's the thing is not every Asian has an enzyme or is missing that enzyme or whatever it may be. Like not every Asian has it. So a lot of them think they don't need it when they definitely do. So I've met Asian people that have bad smells, but a large portion of us are missing that thing. Lord Moto says, so you guys don't have a smell to attract mates? No, it's very different. So like, I think, what was it, on The Office? Dwight Schrute says, a woman will choose a mate closest to their father's scent. That's the most attractive like pheromone to them. I think that it's probably true. Like we're attracted to people that look like us, that have similar features. So a guy that has a similar odor to their father is probably the most attractive. Thank you, Maybe Sunshine, for hanging out, saying follow me on Instagram. Yeah, if you haven't already, follow me over there. I'll probably do some more behind the scenes stuff because, as if you saw in my latest video, what the heck? If you saw my latest video, I had a cutaway yesterday. Oh my god. Where is it? I had a brief cutaway where I used this little microphone, and that little microphone was great. So I'm like, I feel like I should probably take the show on the road because, what is it? Oh my god, what are we doing? I'll be able to record more things on Instagram with my phone because I have a super high quality microphone now. That'd be pretty cool. And then maybe start recording. Like, would you guys want to see me doing some like on the street stuff? Like I didn't really like it that one time I did it with my buddies, the Decoy Squad. We went out to Santa Monica and talked to some homeless people. It was very enlightening getting a different opinion on what's happening out there and the effects of our tax dollars going to the homeless services. But yeah, make it a poll, you're right. Should I do IRL live streams? Even like what were those girls? Those girls that went to Santa Monica Pier and that stalker started following them around. Like even simple stuff like that. So yeah, it looks like we're kind of getting votes in the yes. So maybe people want to see me out there. But I mean, I was trying to reach out to Asmongold because I haven't. Like, I mean, I'm not a good live streamer. I feel like on a video that I can edit, I can be more cool, calm, and collected and just say like, hey, here's a point, here's a point, here's a point, here's a joke. Concise, lighthearted commentary. But here, I can just say whatever I want. You know, like I'm not can ramble, can stumble, kind of be socially awkward. Like I don't. A lot of this is just filler content. So I mean, I don't know if you guys want me out there. Yeah, the Twitch streamers, Amiru, Valkyrie, and Emily. Yeah, Asmund seems like my content, and shout out to his editors too, because his editors have been super nice to me and giving me insight on like their strategy and stuff, which has been amazingly beneficial to me. So like special shout out to Asmund Gold and his team. They seem like they're all really cool people. Turtle says, when are you streaming XCOM? I mean, I kind of have to take off soon, but I might just do like what Penguins does, where like he did Moist Critical would do the topic, and then people would be on the stream, and if you wanted to hang out for longer, they'd play a game together. Like I do want to play the that Schedule 1 game while it's still hot, but I think I need to figure out how to get the streaming video gaming to work, because I'm on a Mac and apparently doesn't work on Mac. Let's see. Yeah, Schedule 1 is great. I feel like I see all these people playing it, and it seems like it's good. Blake Campbell, Taylor, you going to collab with the Roach King? I wish, but I don't think that I'm on his level yet. It's like a elitist thing, but it's like the same way that I'm not getting on Joe Rogan's podcast right now is why I'm not on these things. And the same reason that it's like, they wouldn't reach out to me, because you gotta be some relevant. You gotta provide some value, and I totally understand that. So people say don't do it, be safe. I mean, I'll bring my crew. I think we'll be okay. I'm not in LA anymore. I'm still in a driving distance. I went down there recently. Here's the thing is I'm not really afraid of what's going on out there. Not because I'm like this fucking huge 6'5", 300-pound jack dude, but no, I'm not too concerned about the violence over there. Yeah, it's kind of a risk. Maybe Sunshine says it's cool, so we'll see. Yeah, I just gotta be careful out there. So it seems like most people out of 100 votes, 75% says yes. So probably we'll figure it out though. We'll figure out when we'll do that. But thanks for hanging out as long as you did, and then we'll try to get a schedule for this. I've never modded XCOM. I've modded the original XCOM to take away psi attacks. I just wanted to keep it regular guns and strategy. I hate when you go into that original XCOM, enemy unknown, and once you capture your first sectoid, the ethereals show up, and every single match you're getting mind controlled, and it's like, this game isn't fun. I don't like this as much. So we're talking about video games too much. Thanks for hanging out as long as you did, but for now, duck off.